Hi, friends. Are you looking to get an opportunity around the upcoming Summer Olympics in Paris? Because we are now in 2024, or maybe you're watching this later and you're looking ahead to 2026 or 2028 or any of the Olympic years after that. Well, I'm a freelance event producer and I have worked the Olympics in Tokyo and I volunteered back in Pyeongchang in 2018. So I know a few things about how to land yourself an opportunity at the Olympics. So stick around. Before we jump into it, I'm Logan Clements. I'm a freelance event producer based in Seattle, Washington, but I execute events here and all over the world. I do want to remind you to like, subscribe, turn on that little notification bell so you get notified every single Monday when I drop new videos. I'm also the co-host of the Better Events podcast with fellow event pro Mary Davidson, and we drop new episodes every single Wednesday where we dive a little bit more into some of these topics that I talk about here on my YouTube channel. So if you love free content and you're looking to level up your event skills, give us a listen wherever you listen to podcasts. If you were like me, I'd always dreamed about being at the Olympics. Now, as a kid and a teenager and a college athlete, I always dreamed about competing at the Olympics. That was my lifelong dream. I promised my parents they would see me at the Olympics. As my athletic career developed, I had some injuries, things happened. I didn't end up making the cut athletically, and I shifted my priorities to wanting to then work at the Olympics, to be paid to be at the Olympics. Now, if you just Google, I want to work at the Olympics, you're not going to get too many helpful links. I'm going to give you that. I feel like I tried that method and I just kept hitting wall after wall. And so here are a couple of the steps that I took and some different routes you can take to either get paid or be involved with the Olympics in the future. Again, past Logan, wish you had this video, you could go back and watch. So my first one is going to be to volunteer. Now, these games are huge. There's so many events, so many aspects, so they need event staff. And unfortunately, they can't pay all these people. And because it's the Olympics, a lot of people just want to be involved. And so they have extensive volunteer programs. Now, at the time of this recording, it's January 2024, which unfortunately, guys, is a little late to get involved with Paris because the applications have closed, but you can volunteer with both the local organizing committee, so Paris 2024, you would volunteer with them. They, again, mainly go for people from the home country of the Olympics, but they also want international folks who can speak all the different languages that all of the different fans can. So never fear, if you don't speak French and you're fluent in English, there could be a volunteer role for you. Alternatively, you can also volunteer with the team from your home country. So for me, that would be Team USA. And that's actually how I first got to go to the Olympics in 2018 in Pyeongchang. I volunteered with Team USA. Again, at the time of this recording, I just looked at their website and they have closed current opportunities, but I'll put it in the notes. You should bookmark it and check it back if you're really serious about wanting to do it, because I loved my experience volunteering with Team USA. I met a lot of other cool volunteers who do this annually. There's 2 women that I met who have been doing this for like 16 years or something crazy, and they met being volunteers at the Olympics, and now they always do that together. And so you can volunteer with Team USA. That can look like helping hand out their gear when they arrive, into Paris, getting them all their Team USA gear, getting them fitted for that. It can involve working at the Team USA house, which all the countries have houses at the Olympics that some are open to fans for you to go watch TVs and watch the sports, eat the food from that country. Team USA's is not. It's actually exclusive for like athletes, families, and sponsors and friends. But you can volunteer and staff that. You can also volunteer at their different like housing athlete village areas that they put up. So there's a lot of opportunities there. And for me, that was a way to get my foot in the door, because I guess my big takeaway is you just want to be there. You need to be at the Olympics to figure out how to get at the Olympics. It sounds a little counterintuitive, but just being there and paying attention to, what companies are around, organizations, that was really helpful for me, and just to see how it all worked. So volunteers, number 1. 2 would be to find a paid opportunity, because for volunteers, they don't cover your housing, they don't cover your travel costs, like you're covering all of that and they're not paying you. They often will give you food and feed you while you're there, and maybe you get a t-shirt or 2, but you're really there for the joy of getting to go. But you get a window into this kind of official side of the Olympics. You're getting this insider look, which is so cool as a volunteer. Now, to get paid to be there, again, Googling work at the Olympics, you're not going to find that many opportunities. So the one I want to shout out for my event pros out there, especially if you are logistics and operations minded, I would recommend the company Jet Set Sports. They are one of the few companies I know that actually do an online application. They go through rounds of interviews. I almost worked with them for Tokyo before COVID hit, and I actually went through the process. So yes, they do respond to you with your application, and I went through the interview process and got an offer from them. And so that's a great way where, again, they're a logistics company that helps American fans go to the Olympics. And they always have a role at every single Olympics, and they're looking for English speakers. So Jet Set Sports, go check them out. They're definitely a good resource. And you can try just Googling, but again, I haven't had much success with that. And then alternatively, if you're looking to get paid to be there, looking at roles with the organizing committee. So with Paris 2024 or with Los Angeles, LA 2028, they have usually, those are more full-time roles and often multi-year contracts or at least a year contract or at least 6 months contracts, and involves you physically being in that city or country for that period of time. So they're not remote roles. The ones that I found at the Olympics where I'm getting paid to be there and I'm going to be in Paris, which is very exciting, often come from people I know. So people I have met through some of the other sporting events I do. So these jobs don't get listed online anywhere. And it's not so much about like who you know in a gatekeepy sense. It's more just these opportunities don't get posted online. And instead they're given to companies that bid for them. And then companies are going to go to their workforce and people they have worked with to say, who do we trust to represent us on this big international stage? And that's how I've gotten those opportunities. So again, also working sporting events of any kind are a good way to both build your resume and just meet people, because you honestly have no idea who could lead to your next project. And my third and final way for working at the Olympics is just to go to the Olympics as a fan. This is one when I volunteered. I did end up staying like an extra week as a fan and just running around and watching all the different sporting events. An add-on to that would be, because you just need to be there to meet the people and understand how it all works, go to the coffee shops. Like in Korea, I went to Starbucks and I sat and I did some work, but I paid attention to those around me. I paid attention to the logos on people's jackets. I was writing down company names of people I saw, because while you can work on the sports side of things, you can volunteer on the operations side of things, you can work in operations, there's also a whole nother auxiliary amount of events that sponsors do, brand activations, other countries do. And I know a number of other people who work at the Olympics, but just in different capacities. And so you do kind of have to stretch your mind of what makes sense. So finding out what brands are there, finding out what companies they're there. They might not post it online, but you find their company email and you're able to shoot them a note and just say, hey, I noticed you guys were at the Olympics in Paris 2024. Just wanted to reach out to see if you have opportunities around 2026 or something like that. So you might have to be a little creative, but hopefully this answers a couple of your questions. Again, I wish I had concrete ones that you can apply for. My only nugget was Jet Set Sports does have their application open for 2024 still for Paris, and they're going to be recruiting for Milano Cortina, the Winter Olympics in 2026. So you can put it on your radar. My final pro tip for you would be, often Olympic opportunities become available a year and a half to a year before the Olympic Games. Meaning, so if you want to look for LA 2028, you should be really looking in 2026 and start monitoring different websites, volunteer opportunities, all of that, especially for LA because it's here in the US. There's going to be a ton of people who want to get involved with that. So I feel like that's going to be probably the most competitive, but going to Italy for the Winter Olympics tend to be not as popular as the summer. So that's a great way to get your feet wet. That's what I did in 2018, just because it's colder. Less people like to go to those ones. But hopefully that gives you a plan, and I'm going to see you at a future Olympic Games. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.